Hey yo, it's time for the playoffs, we the top of the West. We got the home field advantage, time to play at our best. I'm out at Carson, California, kill a piece on the set. Like Joe Belich, the pistolero, put a hole in the net. Yo got bonito when I dribble like I'm Gabriel Peck. Call me Yamane, got defenders out here breaking their neck. And put a curler past the keeper like I'm Pooch on the left. I'm bringing the skill like paint seal, counter attack. I'll put your sheet on next to Garces to defend in the back. And we serio, que golazo, give them props on the track. I got a vision like I'm Royce when he's giving a pass. Marky Delgado is my boy, helping out where he can. Put up a typo at the park, show the love that we have. Diego Fagundes on the left when we get to the half. Let's make some changes that got Stone create a play and retract. When in the game we have possession, but we shouldn't relax. Mauricio Cuevas now or never, time to bring up the stats. We gotta show them what we're made of, take a look at the past. The champion's back, the race to save the price that we have. We ain't stopping till we have another cup in our hand. What? Let's go Galaxy, let's go Galaxy, yeah. Vamos Galaxy, let's go Galaxy, let's go Galaxy, yeah. Vamos Galaxy, la cuna galaxiana es la voz de LA.
Hello, hola, and buenas, and welcome back to another episode of La Cuna Galaxiana, a podcast always made with love for all you LA Galaxy fans out there, wherever you are out in the world. I know that my co-host is out there jet setting as we speak, but man, we are super happy to be back with you. It is playoff time, and today we're going to be reviewing the LA Galaxy's first match of 2024 of the playoffs, which kicks off on Saturday, October 26th at the Digs against the Colorado Rapids. We'll also take a quick look back on this Galaxy team heading into the postseason, and here to help us do that is LA Galaxy General Manager Will Kuntz, and he'll be here with us to take stock on everything this season. But before he joins us, let's go ahead and take care of a couple things. First and foremost, let me introduce myself. I'm one of your co-hosts, Rob Halon. You can always find my written work at Extra Time Talk, and you can find me online at El Escudero de LA. And of course, since I'm here, my co-host is here. He is jet setting, cosmopolitan, like I said, el yerno guapo, el gitano perdido, desde Perú, Anandita Kirana. ¿Cómo te sientes, papá?
Hey, I'm here. See that? You guys see that, man? I just had to. That was I had such an amazing day, Rob, yesterday. So I'm a happy man today. I'm in vacation, but you know what? I'm always thinking about LA Galaxy soccer, so that's why I'm here with you guys and everyone in chat. And of course, we have a very, very, very special guest that we will intro here in just a few minutes. But no, man, I'm excited. I'm excited that Galaxy soccer is back. We're back in the playoffs, and it's time to make a statement this year. So I'm really, really happy that we're in this position, and I'm very, very excited. Because we've got a special man that we want to talk to about this team with, and I know you're excited as well. So, man, let's with the pleasantries, and let's just kind of jump into this. But you know, we've got to do a little housekeeping, just a couple announcements, and then of course we'll get to the meat and potatoes of the show. Right, Rob?
Vámonos, dale. Tell the people what they need to know.
Well, so you guys can always follow me, block me, or stalk me at Ananda Galaxiana. Of course, guys and gals in the chat, both of our handles are there for Mines and Roberto Jalon's. And of course, you can find us on all of your socials at La Cuna Galaxiana. If this is the first time you are joining us today, welcome. And man, you couldn't have picked a better time. Yeah, first of all, thank you, but couldn't have picked a better time to join us for the first time. So really, really appreciate you guys stopping by and listening to La Cuna Galaxiana. Of course, the best way to support this, guys, if you want to support this little tiny, humble pod, is to like and subscribe. That's the best way you're going to support the show. And the other way you can support this show is, of course, we have our little horchata funds that we're building. And, of course, Rob's got a strawberry horchata today. So you guys can always buy us horchata. That's buymecoffee.com/La Cuna Galaxiana. You see that Rob's got his strawberry right there. Loving life per the usual. And yeah, that's another way. And again, we thank you in advance for all of your support. And again, just listening to, two knuckleheads talk about LA Galaxy soccer, that's just that goes straight to the heart already. And not, enough said there. And of course, Roberto, como siempre, antes de olvidarme, buenos días, tardes o noches. Y bienvenidos a otro capítulo de La Cuna Galaxiana. Guys, playoff edition. You heard the Arquitecto track in the beginning. It's playoff time. We're ready. We're pumped. Let's get to it.
Yeah, man. And we've mentioned before, we are on Goals TV, just another platform for you guys to check us out. So if you don't do the Spotify thing, you don't do the YouTube thing, you guys can check us out on Goals TV. We're going to start the show off with a note of condolence. This week, Fernando Valenzuela passed away, the Dodger great, El Toro. I mean, he took over the world, one of the biggest athletes in baseball and the world as a rookie, and took the Dodgers to the World Series. Dodgers hoping to do the business for El Toro this year as well as they start the World Series. And speaking of starting the World Series, Ananda, there is a huge traffic advisory for Friday. Lakers, Dodgers. There's a couple of city championships for city football, so that's on Friday. But on Saturday as well, there's Lakers and Dodgers. So as you're getting to the digs or leaving for the digs, take that into consideration and make sure to leave a little bit early. You want to be there from the top of the show to go ahead and show these boys love when they take on Colorado on Saturday. So go ahead and make plans accordingly. And of course, if you don't want to miss the Dodgers, Galaxy Park is the place to be. They're going to be showing that Dodgers game. So go ahead and check it out starting at 5 p.m. Also at the digs, they're dropping more hot merch, Ananda, as if our wallets didn't already hate us. The and Culture Kings and Mitchell and Ness teamed up to drop a new collection now available at the team store and at culturekings.com. The Galaxy as well dropped a playoff collection, and that is also available at the digs. So, guys, if your wallets didn't already hate you, now on the weekend they will, because you guys are going to drop a lot more coins. So,
hashtag Rich Galaxy fans. We've been saying it on the show a lot, guys, but they have been absolutely killing it. So, shout out to all the Galaxy community and the creators out there. Man, you guys are absolutely killing it and our wallets.
Yeah, man. I mean, Sworn to Us. I mean, FU USA.
Yeah.
1-2. I mean, like they're all doing it real big, and it's great to see so much cool merch out there. Finally, wrapping up here with the announcements before we get to the special guest of today. Congratulations to Gabriel Pecchi, who is the finalist for MLS Newcomer of the Year. Gabriel Pecchi led LA with goals with 16 this year and had 14 assists in all competitions. That's 30 goals in all competitions, goal contributions in all competitions. If you're able to do math, apparently I cannot speak. Maybe I'm just nervous because we have.
It's at ESL, Robert. It's okay. It's the English as a second language.
I'm still learning, and one day I'm going to learn how to read and watch. I'll learn how to read. Yeah. It's over for y'all.
Well, good thing you're in journalism, so there you go.
Exactly. Right. So Gabriel Pecchi, of course, he's been lights out for the Galaxy. I mean, just second half of the year, he's been amazing. He has 6 goals in the last 6 games. That will be instrumental for the Galaxy's chances to progress into the playoffs. And Ananda, I mean, we could keep on talking all day, but really no one wants to hear from me and you, or you and I. So, I mean, but really the reason we're all here, I know the reason that I'm here, is that we're proud to now welcome to the show the man who made it possible for Galaxy fans to start believing in their club again, LA Galaxy General Manager Will Kuntz. Thank you so much for dropping by. Welcome to the show.
Gentlemen, how we doing? Thanks for having me.
Oh, man.
Welcome, Will. Yeah, we're honored to have you.
Ecstatic that you're here with us. You know, it's business end of the season. You know that. And really, since it is the business end of the season, hard-hitting questions right off the bat. I got to throw them at you, right? So, number 1, Dodgers or Yankees?
I mean, listen, I gotta go Yankees. You know?
Yeah, all right. You're a New York boy. Yeah. I had to figure.
I worked there for 10 years. You know, it's
right.
You don't get that out of your blood that easy.
We had to ask. So, we had to ask. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and then you're Brooklyn, you know. So I had a hunch that you were gonna go Yankees, but street tacos in LA or a slice in Brooklyn?
Ooh.
I mean, it's different horses for different courses. I'm a slice joint guy, but don't get me wrong. Like, there's some birria out here that you just can't touch in New York, right? It's just different. Depends what you're into.
Yeah, birria, it is for sure. Well, there's been I think I might have even asked you this, off to the side, like, just waiting around for stuff. But you have a couple of nicknames out there in the Galaxy sphere, but you also have nicknames from your times with the Yankees, right? So what's your favorite nickname? Yankees Whiz Kid, the Chef. I've also heard the Brooklynite. I don't know if you knew, but you have your own comic book out there.
I mean, listen, I was always more kid than whiz, and I'm a lot older than I used to be. So I don't know if whiz kid is applicable. Yeah, chef makes me hungry, right? And I am a Brooklynite, so look, I don't play favorites. Just don't believe the hype.
Okay. Well, I absolutely flipped when I saw that you had a comic book. If you guys want to check it out, it is floating around out there. Last one here with these rapid fire questions. You are in a position as LA Galaxy general manager to make the big decisions, right? And the Galaxy have a long treasured history, big names throughout their history. If you could go back in time and sign one Galaxy great to the current team, who would it be?
Whew. I mean, that's a good question, right? I mean, right off the bat, you think of like 6 names, right? Cienfuegos, Kobe Jones, Robbie Keane, Landon Donovan, David Beckham, and I'm missing, tons in between, right? So, yeah, I don't know if I had to pick one. Maybe just AJ De La Garza, because I feel like he's the people's champ, right? And you can't go wrong. No Chiefs fan is going to say anything if you call AJ, right? But I'm sure Omar Gonzalez is going to let me know too if I say AJ, right? Like it's right. Mike McGee if you need a goalkeeper, in the clutch. Right. Yeah, this question is there's no easy answer for it.
Yeah, I like all those choices though. Ananda himself, he probably would have gone with somebody like AJ, their fellow alumni. So
shout out Terps. There we go.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, since you're in this role, right? You presided over a Galaxy team that went undefeated at home, and we got to see you post match at the last game of the season at home. Take the lap of honor with your family, right? And we know you're a young dad. We got to see you and enjoying with your family. What's the best part of being a young dad?
The best part of being a dad, I think, is just coming home, right? And you can even see there's the stroller in the background. Yeah, just coming home every day, right? It's like you won the World Cup. It doesn't matter if it was a good day or a bad day. You get to walk in the door, and then everything just switches over. And then now, we really limit screen time, but Evie knows that she can always watch football with Papi on TV. We always speak Spanish to our daughter, so she's like, "Oh, yeah, Papi, pone football" when I get back home. So now, she's watching games with me, and we're sitting together on the couch and bonding. But yeah, I think just coming in or waking up in the morning, it's the best.
No, I didn't know that you guys spoke Spanish in the Kuntz household. Do you got a lot of Spanish under your belt?
Yeah, podemos seguir en español si es más cómodo para ti.
Fire.
Así está.
Bueno, hay algo que has aprendido de ser papá que has podido llevar al mundo deportivo o como gerente del Galaxy.
Sí, como portarse con los jugadores, que a veces son lo mismo como mi hija. Las emociones están muy grandes. Cada día puede ser diferente así, pero para ser siempre tranquilo y nunca enojando por algo muy pequeño.
Me encanta. Well, I don't know if you know, but we're big into representation on this podcast. I love that you're speaking Spanish. This is a bilingual pod. This is your first full year as GM in MLS. How important is it to represent the Black community? You're one of the few Black executives in MLS. How important is that representation for you?
Yeah, it's massive, and for me, it's not. It's an opportunity, right? I think the biggest thing is that we have the luxury of being in one of the most diverse cities in the world, a super international city. We play the most sort of prevalent game in the whole world. And so anywhere you go in the world, traveling. People are going to know the game of football. It's a real opportunity, right? We can be different, and I think we should be different. And that is not just in the makeup of our front office or our staff. It's with our football teams, whether it's the first team or the academy. You know, one of the things I think we can do a better job of, quite frankly, is getting out into some of the different neighborhoods in Los Angeles where we're maybe underrepresented in our academy, right, in our player development system, because there are a lot of areas of LA producing really, excellent athletic talent for, basketball, American football teams, and I think that's one of our big charges, right? But I take it as a badge of honor, and I try to build diversity in everything we do, right? And that's really important, because the more diverse we are as a club, as a team, as an organization, the stronger we are.
And speaking of being strong, I mentioned a little bit earlier, undefeated at home this year, but that's something to hang your hat on. But is that perhaps maybe your proudest achievement in your 16 months as Galaxy GM?
Definitely. I think back to, I think it was late May last year when we had this kind of blow up with the fans and Victoria Block after a game, and totally understand why they were upset. Not any shade at them, but you think back to what the vibe was back then, and you flip it over to now, and it's night and day different. And one of the things that I think is I'm most proud of is the way our fans have responded to players that maybe they didn't know before they signed, right? But they see them on the pitch, they see what they give, how hard they compete, how much they care, and that resonates. And that was one of the big gambits I had coming in, was to say, look, we can do it in a different way. Right. As long as we have guys who are competitive, that make our fans proud, we'll be all right. And it's been so awesome to see the digs full, because my first year in MLS, it was 10 years ago, 2014, MLS Cup winning year, but the LA Galaxy across the stadium chant would send chills down your spine, right, to see the place rocking. And so I always knew what this place could be. And now to see the digs full and to see the fans loving it, and to see Mickey Yamane get, the Lars Player of the Year, to hear I go back to the first game when, there was a moment where, Joe took off for the first time, and it was like listening to like a wave in the crowd. You could hear it build as people got to see Joe take off. And later in that game, the fans are chanting, "We want Peck." And it was incredible. And so that's the thing for sure that I'm most proud of, and most humbled by, is just the way our players, I think, have represented the club really well, the way the fans have recognized it, and the way that we are. Look, I'm not gonna say we're back yet, but the way that we've really shown that we're going in a really strong direction.
That's really interesting that you said we're not back. We'll hit on that a little bit later, Will. But just switching gears a little bit, from SVP of player personnel, now as the GM, you're living your dream of wanting to work for this organization. You've expressed on multiple interviews how much you were looking forward to being part of this team's rise back to the top. And we know you're a sports junkie with a legal background. So, Will, are you in your dream job right now? Is this your dream job? And has your time at the Galaxy so far met or even exceeded your expectations?
Yeah, I mean, I think my dream job is like a 5-star exotic resort travel writer, but this is about as awesome as you can get, as close as you can get to it in the world of sports, right? I mean, when I came to MLS, like I said, 10 years ago, this was a place that I knew I wanted to be, because the Galaxy is just, there are a lot of similarities between what the Galaxy were and what the Yankees were. Scale's not necessarily the same, but and look, this is the reason why, all the things I was talking about, the city, the fans, the history. I'm not going to lie, it's a lot easier to get players to come play in Los Angeles than it is in a lot of other markets in the U.S. No shade at them. Even New York, where I'm from, I don't think it's quite the same. And it's just such a great project. It's such a great ownership group. There's support throughout the organization. Tom Braun's doing incredible things on their side of the house. So yeah, I can't imagine things being better than this.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you think about now, just kind of taking a retrospective look back at the season. I mean, the turnaround from 13th last year to this year has been incredible. And MLS pundits didn't have the Galaxy ranked even in the top 4, not even top 6. Well, I don't know if you read the papers.
I think Ricky saw that. I think I saw a tweet from Ricky about that.
Yeah, I think Ricky might have picked up on it.
I think he did pick up on it. And in fact, we've had guests on the show, Will, the likes of Marcelo Balboa, the likes of Tom Bogert, and they said they didn't expect the success to come as soon as it did. So in the first year of what is supposed to be a rebuilding year for the LA Galaxy, at least amongst the crowd, amongst the public, do you think this team is ahead of schedule, finishing with 64 points and second in the West? And did you expect this team to gel so quickly coming out of CVI in the preseason?
I mean, like 64 points is a lot of points, and I don't know that I would have said we'd be necessarily there 10 months ago. But when you look back at last year, I know it's tough, and there are a lot of hard memories. But the way I think that from basically the 15 game mark on, we really competed well, put up a lot of points per game. Didn't finish quite the way we wanted to, but there was a really strong effort from the group, and the core that stayed were willing to carry that on. And so we knew we had that as a starting point, right? Whether that's Ricky, whether that's Maya, whether that's Gaston, Marky, Dayon, we had a lot of guys here who had shown that they had quality or competitive in what was a really difficult time, and then being able to add on top of that, so again, maybe not 64 points, but really felt that we had a team that would be certainly in the top 4 in the conference, get a home game. That was always our unstated goal. But, that after that first game, when we're in the locker room after Miami, you could just tell that the vibe with the group, the focus was different. Nobody was sort of sitting back saying, oh man, we drew Messi. Everybody was pissed, right? And it was just like, I can't believe that Marky got that red card. I can't believe that, we weren't able to get the win. And I've said this before a couple of places. I just remember J Mac saying, guys, if we play like this, we will beat a lot of teams. And, so maybe not coming into January, but as soon as we played that game against Miami, it was like, oh, this group has it. And then I think the next week was San Jose, right? And on the road, and you could just, Joe making it happen. And it was like, yeah, this is going to be sort of everything we thought it could be.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because, you talked about that start, and we had a really, really good start to the season. But you said something really interesting recently on the Excellent Leadership podcast. You said that you thrive on that unique aspect of sport where every day you're getting better or worse, and we have a chance to prove ourselves on the weekend. So after the events of this last weekend, how important is that mantra to you?
Yeah, it's that last weekend's a great example, right? That locker room after the game in Houston was like being at a wake, and even when guys came in, we had Monday off, guys came in on Tuesday, and it was still almost like we were mourning, right? But now we get to put it behind us, right? Now we take a new test, and it's a more important test. And what Greg said after the game was right. He said, look, this one costs you the Western Conference, the next one costs you the season, right? And like you never want to say, you never want to feel good about losing a game, especially when we gave so much. But that's right. Now it's there, and look, that our plan is to make that the last game we lose, right? So it's a really good, call a warning shot or a wake up call, but we also don't have time to dwell, right? Because Colorado's not going to feel bad for us,
right?
And they're coming in to do whatever they can. Look, and you saw in the first 5-10 minutes of the game, right? Houston was like, hey, we're not going to try and let you guys play your game, right? We're gonna kick you, we're gonna pull you, we're gonna grab you, we're gonna force the referee into a tough spot. I think we've seen historically that the playoffs are a period of time where the refs kind of swallow the whistles a little bit. So we also have to be prepared for the reality of the situation. The teams know it's suicide to try and match up with us toe to toe, and if we are feeling just an ounce bad for ourselves, or we're stuck in the past, we're going to get literally punched in the face or kicked in the shin. So we got to make sure that we put that behind us, channel that anger in a good way. And I think it's been an awesome week of training from the group, and look to take out some of that frustration and start fresh on Saturday.
And for the chat out there and the Galaxy fans out there, I was out at training today, and let me tell you, the boys do look relaxed. They do look happy. They look like they're about their business. Well, you kind of touched on this already, but the reconnection with the fans is very, very evident. I talk on this podcast all the time about how I've covered the team for about 4 years now, and this is the first year, or really at the start of last year, at the start of I guess what we would call your tenure, your administration. Things started to feel a lot more transparent. We started seeing yourself in the press box, not only yourself, but part of the scouting team, Gordon Clushin and others. Fans have said that they've been super impressed and in awe of you going up to them in away matches and saluting them and coming up to where they're sitting. So, given the tumultuous, last season that was last year, was that among your priorities to start the year, is that reconnection with the fans, or maybe that transparency of saying this is who the Galaxy is, this is our culture, and it doesn't change for anybody?
Yeah, I think it's just important for me to introduce myself and look, I'm a Brooklyn guy. I think it's really important to be real and authentic, and we owe everything to our fans. So when our fans travel to St. Louis and it is, hot as can be and humid at whatever it is, a 1:00 kickoff, that's awesome, right? We should go celebrate them. When you see people, walk around the stadium and they shout you out, you want to send that love back. You guys in the press box before a game, I mean, you're covering the team, you're following us. We appreciate it, right? Like that, you're asking questions, you're staying on top of the pulse. I try to recognize everything, because when I was making a decision about what to do with my career, I mean, these are the sources that I go to, right? To hear what you're saying, to hear what's being talked about in the discourse. And look, and we got to be appreciative, right? Like, this is not just me. It's not just soccer ops. It's not just a team. It's everybody. It's a club. And that means a lot, right? Like I don't say it lightly. Like, I am proud to be working here. This is a big club, like, and everybody should be feeling that way, right? Eventually we want to become like the bullies again. I heard you guys talking on Monday or Tuesday, right? Like how it seems like every fan base was against us. Like, of course, right? Like that's the way it is with the Dodgers and the Yankees and the Cowboys, right? Like your fans love you, but everybody else is sick of it. And so, we got to take a lot of pride in what we have here. And again, like, I'm just honored to be a part of it. So, it's not so much me trying to be transparent, but it's just me trying to spread what I feel, the love I feel, the excitement I feel, in the only way I know how.
Well, I know a lot of people in chat are going to be happy to hear a lot of those words, Will.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, Will, I know we have just a couple minutes with you, so just a couple last ones for you. But I did promise I wanted to go back to this, right? So this idea of, are the Galaxy back? I mean, of course, the Galaxy ended last season in a really tough way, 13th in the West, which means coming into this season, the Galaxy have actually missed the playoffs in the last 5 of the last 7 years. I know that's a stat that none of us want to hear sort of repeating in our heads, right? But, all season long, it's been interesting. There's been that debate amongst us Galaxy fans on this podcast, on others as well, on X. I mean, are the Galaxy back? And earlier in the year, one of Rob's personal heroes was on the show, Mr. Joe Tutino himself. He mentioned that the standard of the Galaxy team to be back is winning in titles. So do you agree with Joe? And I guess you kind of alluded to it earlier, but how would you approach answering the question of, are the Galaxy back?
Yeah, I'll go, I'll dial it all the way back to my professional start, right, with the Yankees. And I was talking to my mentor, Brian Cashman, earlier this week. Look, the Yankees, the standard is winning a championship, right? And there's been a 15-year drought since the last time they won. And, I don't think in that time anybody would say, hey, like, not that they went anywhere, but they're not back, right? For me, the Galaxy being back is winning MLS Cup, standing on that podium with the confetti shooting behind you, and saying, hey, like, we were top of the mountain, right? That's that to me is the Galaxy being all the way back, right? And it's not to say that we're not appreciative of or proud of what we've done, but look, if the season ends tomorrow, nobody's gonna sit here and say, hey, we did everything we could, right? Or this was the best it could be. So, it's a high bar. It doesn't always make for the most celebratory, the most fun, right? You come back after a win and maybe people are feeling really happy and we're thinking about what could we have done better. But that's the rabbit we're chasing, right? And so, look, we are up among the best teams in the league again. I feel comfortable saying that, but the Galaxy's place is at the top, right? We were the first to 5. I'm trying to be the first to 5 more, and so that's the goal.
I super like that. First to 5 more. That's the goal. You heard it here first, LA Galaxy fans. There's hindsight is 2020, and after every decision, after every game, people say, I would have done this, I would have done that, or I would have signed this player or that player. You're actually the guy in charge. So take us into the mind of a GM. What's the process like? I know earlier in the season when we spoke, when you guys signed Marco Royce, I asked you if you guys were done adding, and you said for the moment yes, but you guys were already in the process of looking towards the next window. So do you guys already have a specific region in mind, players in mind? Does that change depending on what happens in the playoffs with the team? How does it all go down?
Yeah, I was talking with Mikkel Dencher and Oliver Curry in our office today, because this is the hardest part of the season, right? Because on the front office side, because we have basically no control, right? We know our technical staff is doing great work with the players, getting them ready for big matches to come. We can have a sense of what we'd like to do as far as adding players, but we can't really do it now. And even if you start going down the road with a player who's maybe in a different country, a lot of things can change between now and January, right? So we have to cast as wide a net as possible. And right now it's a lot of watching games, a lot of talking to different contacts to source names and get our depth charts ready, right? And then, of course, the MLS of it all, it's like, okay, you might need an option to U22, an option that's a salary budget player, an option that's a senior minimum player, right? So it's not just the positions, it's the buckets of classifications that they're in. But we're trying to source all that stuff now, because I think we saw a little bit last winter, right? Our first targets didn't necessarily go the way we wanted to, and that's the reality of it, right? So you can't just line up 1 or 2 guys. You got to make sure you have a deep stable of guys, but it also takes a lot of work, right? Not just who they are on the field, but what they're like as people off of it. So it's a really busy time, but I wish I could say that the list that we have now are going to be the ones that we roll out with, but the reality is, the season's got to finish, and then things can start happening. So it's frustrating for us. It's exciting, but it's kind of like we got to hurry up and wait. The good news is we got playoff games, hopefully 5 playoff games to watch. So.
Yeah, and hopefully at the end of that, the team will be lifting the 6th. Just from us to you, we got to let you know that everyone out there in Galaxylandia has said that you've knocked it out of the park with the signings. I think the quote has been, "He's done miracles on us." So I think they're gonna trust that you're gonna hit it out of the park again. We want to thank you so much for coming on with us today. We know you got to get out of here. We know you have some kids probably put to bed, and you want to hang out with your fam. So thank you so much, Will, for joining us tonight, and good luck to you and the team on Saturday against Colorado.
Guys, I really appreciate you having me on. Ananda, have a safe trip. Rob, I'll see you on Saturday.
I will see you on Saturday. Thanks so much,
Thanks.
Will. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Hopefully I'll get to see you on Saturday and shake your hand as well, Will. Thanks. Bye-bye.
All righty, guys. Well, you guys heard him here first. Will Kuntz. All the nicknames are appropriate. Just everything that Will was saying is, guys, quite frankly, what you want to hear from the guy in charge. Mans just gets it. And I think back to a documentary that I watched during the pandemic, which was the Michael Jordan Last Dance documentary, Ananda, and how they used to call Michael Jordan the Big Cat. I think that's got to be my name for Will. Beyond the chef, beyond the Brooklynite, I think for me it's the Big Cat. We want to thank him once again for coming on. Ananda, was there any kind of like question that you were like, man, I wish we should have hit that? Like, it's always in retrospect, you're like, dang, I should have asked this.
Oh, I wish we would have got to the Mount Rushmore question, but I know he's. I mean, look, the reality is he wants to hang out with his kids more than us two knuckleheads, like I said, right? So, but by the way, and chat is picking up on this. Will en español, papá,
Right.
por favor. I mean, what can this man not do, right? Like that was just, guys. I think this just having this sort of interaction with him just further cements like we've got a really, really good, not just him, but a really, really good staff. I think we're all in good hands as Galaxy fans. And we just got to trust in Greg and the team to do it on the pitch. That's all it is, man. The front office is absolutely set. That's one thing that we're not worrying about.
Yeah, and you know what? Like I said, I was at training today, and Greg, he said it a couple times. It's this execution. You know, they have the team, they have the players, they have the game plan, they have the tactics. It's just execution at this point. Well, we want to thank everybody in chat that dropped by to hang out with us and Will. We do have a Colorado match preview to get into, so I suppose now is the best time to do that, right, Ananda? Some playoff reminders for you guys in the first round. It's a best of 3 series, right? So the Galaxy will face off against Colorado on Saturday. And none of these games can end in a draw. If tied after 90 minutes, teams go directly to penalty kicks to determine the winner. First team to 2 victories wins the round. So it is conceivable for the Galaxy to go ahead and play 2 games and then to win this round and not need to play the third game, which would be the best case scenario for everyone involved. That way, all these players get healthy if they need to get healthy. Anybody that has any last moment like pulls or just niggles is just like, hey, you know what, we're 100. But going into this match, like I mentioned, this is the first of 3, goes down on Saturday, October 26th, and it'll be the 96th meeting across all competitions for these 2 clubs, with LA leading the series 48-34-13. They last clashed on October 2nd, 2024, where the Galaxy defeated the Rapids 3-1. This one was a good indication of where the Galaxy, or how the Galaxy would do against, say, a high-pressing team. The Galaxy were able to figure out how to break that press and win 3-1. In the first meeting between these 2 teams earlier this year, the Galaxy won 3-2 at the Digs. In that one, you had a gentleman by the name of Kevin Cabral scoring, and he'll be back against the Galaxy this Saturday. Since the start of 2009, the Galaxy have hosted 18 playoff games at home, including MLS Cups in 2011, 2012, and 2014, all of which they won. So if you think that your presence isn't needed, you are sorely mistaken. You are needed there. And again, traffic's going to be bad. Get there early. You heard Will. I mean, you are necessary. You are needed. In those 18 matches, in those 18 playoff matches the Galaxy have played at home, they are 16-2-0. So it is vitally important to play at home for the Galaxy. It is vitally important for you to get behind them. And they are 46-24-7 and 76 all-time in playoff matches. This year, in 16 matches played at home, we've mentioned it, they went undefeated, 13-0-3. They've won 11 consecutive league matches played at home, dating back to May 25th. And in that time, they've outscored opponents 31-14. And they play an opponent, Ananda, let's go ahead and face it, that isn't in their best moment. They have lost their last 4 matches on the trot, and they've only won 1 of their last 6. Saying all that, you got to beat what's in front of you. We've spoken about this before. They are supposed to have some key contributors missing or just coming back from injury. We spoke to Greg about it today again, and he said pretty much the same thing. You know, they are going to play their game. They're going to be organized. They're going to be high pressing, and the Galaxy need to go out and execute. So saying all that, a very important man that will be vital to the Galaxy's chances is to accomplishing all those things is a man named Mark Delgado. He will be back after a suspension. The Galaxy, I feel like, missed him sorely against Houston. And Greg Vanny also says that'll have everyone available besides Martin Cáceres for the LA Galaxy's first round home match against Colorado. So I spoke to him about Joseph Paintsel. Of course, you guys knew he had that injury going into the last match. It was a surprise that he got the starting nod. He is 100 That's per Greg. Julianaude as well, 100. They're trying to get Marco Reus more minutes so he can be 100%, just match fit. But yeah, everyone's pretty much ready to go. So he should have everybody to rely on. Not so for Colorado, Ananda, who, according to the good boys at Burgundy Wave, shout out Matt Pollard, the drink, the straw that stirs the Burgundy Wave drink is Matt Pollard, and he reported that Cole Bassett, Kevin Cabral, and Zach Steffen fully participated in Rapids training today. And obviously, one would assume that they'll take some part on Saturday. Kevin Cabral is, as much as Galaxy fans want to deride his time here, Chris Armas is really high on him, and he's really important to Armas's system to be able to stretch the field. Yeah. And then Cole Bassett is, if you're going to lose Jordi Mihailovic, it's a huge plus for you to get Cole Bassett back. For me, he's probably the one to watch there for Colorado. But yeah, Mihailovic didn't do any team drills, and they don't expect him for leg 1 to be determined for leg 2. And I don't know if you saw this injury with Mihailovic, but the picture, it looks gruesome. I not something that I would have expected him to be back for in this series, but these guys are tip-top shape athletes, so but let's look at these starting lineups. What do you expect out of the Galaxy in round 1, match 1?
Well, I think the inclusion of Delgado will be important, right? But him back into the lineup. So I think we could see maybe a little shakeup in midfield, Robert. Maybe Marco Reus. I honestly think, I don't know about what you thought, but he didn't have the best of games, I thought, in Houston.
Who was that?
I thought Marco Reus. I thought.
Oh no, I fully agree.
Yeah, I thought it was a little bit in and out of the game. I don't know if it's not the fact he didn't look comfortable. It just wasn't as forward looking, didn't make enough forward passes, I thought, that he usually does. His combination play with Ricky was sort of more or less existent than what we've seen him in the past. So we might pull that, I think he's great off the bench though. If you think about him coming off the bench, opponents look at that and say, well, we have to deal with that now, right? Whatever game state the game may be in. So I think we might see a little bit of that in the shakeup. But other than that, I expect to see a very similar starting lineup, Rob, than what we had. This was what I have on the screen there is what we had against Houston. And then on the right-hand side is what Colorado had in their last game of the season, a 3-2 surprising loss to Austin, if I may say so for myself. Of course, on their side, they're going to miss Mihailovic. You just talked about it. But, they still got Navajo, who scored against us. They've got Connor Ronan, who scored against us. I like your
pronunciation on that.
Yeah, Navajo. Matt Pollard would be so proud of me.
Rafael Navajo.
And, of course, they're going to have Zach Steffen back. That's a huge plus for them, right? So I think our finishing game has to be on point. But, yeah, Rob, anything on the lineup there to note or any surprises that you think will happen? I think this is pretty predictable for us, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I agree. The only one, you mentioned it. Marco Reus didn't have the best game. I would expect Mark Delgado to take that spot. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the lineup right there. And then of course for Colorado, it'll really be who's fit. If Zach Steffen's fit, he's gonna play. If Cole Bassett's fit, he's gonna play. If he can go the full 90, he's gonna go the full 90. And Mihailovic, Greg spoke about, you have to, game plan for everything, and whether he plays or not, you kind of have to, just kind of play your own way. Mihailovic has got a really free role, so it's not like, you're changing a lot in your game plan by preparing for him or not preparing for him, because again, he has a really free role, so it's not like structurally you're going to change a lot. But we know a little bit about Colorado plays because the Galaxy just faced them a couple of weeks ago. But how about you bring up some numbers that might influence this match?
Yeah, these are, by the way, guys, these are the same. We played them, 3 match days ago. So these are the numbers that I pulled up last time here on the screen. But I just want to accentuate a couple of things, right? Which is, we know what Colorado strengths and We know what Colorado. I learned from the best, Rob. Journalism. There you go. I learned from the best journalists.
I'm
right?
telling you, when I learn how to read, it's over for y'all.
We know how Colorado plays. We know their strengths and playing style. You alluded to it earlier. They like to win the ball high up the pitch. They like to man-to-man press, right? That shows up in their top 5 in possessions, one final third per match. I always pull up that stat with Colorado. That's going to be another one to watch. But again, for us, it's how we break that. You remember on the very first goal that we scored, it was a really, really good passing sequence, and then Mark Delgado basically filled in the spot that Ricky vacated, and he was the one that put the forward ball in, and that's how we got Gabi Peck in, and then we scored the first goal, right? So that's how we break that press. So it's going to be really interesting, again, tactically, positionally, especially the midfield, where they're going to be positioned. We know that Colorado, even though they create a lot of big chances, Robert, the surprising thing I want to say, in the last 4 losses, they've only created 4 big chances in their last 4 losses, and 3 of those came against in the last game in Austin. So they had no big chances against us, no big chances against Seattle. So I think for us, it's how do we limit their opportunities? How do we limit their clear-cut chances? I mean, they're going to have a few, like the Connor Ronan shot. That wasn't really a big chance. We just didn't go out to it. We left him sort of free outside the box. But again, it's an outside the box shot. That's kind of what Greg Vanney probably game plans for. But in this case, it's like, okay, how do we just eliminate those clear-cut chances? The good news is Mihailovic isn't going to be on the pitch to create those clear-cut chances, possibly. But then they're going to have a Cole Bassett that we have to deal with. That's another variable we didn't have in the last game. So it's very interesting how Greg game plans for that too. But I agree with you in that I feel like he's going to have a very similar role as Mihailovic. So, take one out, plug in the other, and it's going to be a very, very similar sort of threat type, right?
Yeah, I can totally see that happening. I can see Bassett kind of taking up that position. He's not going to have the same skill set, but he is going to be a center midfielder that's more than capable of advancing the ball and being creative. Again, not as free and not as much of a free roll as Mihailovic, but Bassett's a good little midfielder. If he wasn't a CDM or a CM, I could see him being an attacking midfielder just fine. Certainly he puts up the offensive numbers to go ahead and dictate that, and we'll look at that in a moment. But these danger men for Colorado, especially with Mihailovic being out, someone's got to step up, right? So who's it going to be? Is it going to be Navajo with his 15 goals and 5 assists this year? He hasn't really done a whole lot against the Galaxy so far in their 2 matchups this year, but undoubtedly he has the quality, as evidenced by his stats. Obviously, we spoke about Kevin Cabral coming back to the digs. He's already scored on the Galaxy 2 times in his last 2 visits to Los Angeles. We spoke about how much he means to Chris Armas and his system. It's probably one of his best performing years as well. 5 goals and 4 assists in 23 matches played. He's speedy, Ananda. He's going to stretch this defense. And he's going to do what he can to get this Galaxy defense out of shape, and that's going to benefit somebody like Cole Bassett, who we mentioned might step into that Mihailovic role or be a little bit more advanced. Cole Bassett, as a center defensive midfielder, scored 9 goals and had 7 assists this year, Ananda, in 30 games played. So
that's impressive.
You push him up a little bit, and he's gonna do numbers. So I really like this player. He's a homegrown. What do we talk about all the time? Defending the badge, right? He's a homegrown who's going to defend that badge all the time. And so he's dynamic. He's goal dangerous, and usually he makes those late runs into the box. But this time, he is, probably going to be a little bit more advanced. So he's going to be tasked with, moving this ball and distributing this ball a little bit more. So Ricky is going to have to do his best to occupy this midfield. And undoubtedly, if Colorado's midfield starts to get overrun, Cole Bassett's going to be tasked with trying to clamp him down a little bit more. And then that's where you take his offensive duties a little bit away from him. So Ricky's going to be, as he always is, key to this midfield battle. Ananda, which one of these danger men for Colorado do you see coming back to kind of get out the Galaxy. And before you answer, really quick, chat, you know what's coming. For the Galaxy to win this match, they have to ... and then give us your game prediction. For the Galaxy to win this match, they have to ... fill in the blank, and then give us your game prediction. What will game 1 end up at? LA or Colorado winning? Go ahead and let us know. Ananda, what's your thinking? Is Navajo finally going to have his game against the Galaxy?
Oh man, I hate to bring this up, but Primo Matt's already on it. But he's saying the Kevin Cabral show. Robert, it would be so like the Galaxy to give Kevin Cabral like an MVP type of performance, man. I don't know what it is. Like, it should be the logical answer is a guy like Cole Bassett. The logical answer is a guy like Navajo. But I have a feeling Kevin Cabral is going to find a way to get a goal contribution, whether that's a goal or an assist. I don't know why. It's the Galaxy. It's written in the stars, right? I feel like it's going to happen.
Twinkle.
So yeah, there's a leak in my game prediction. I feel like the Rapids are going to score, but I won't tell you how much until the prediction. But yeah, it's Kevin Cabral. But you know what? Jokes aside for a second, I think his speed is always going to be a threat, right? So
Absolutely.
If he plays at the left-hand side, I mean, Mickey Yamane, we know he likes to pinch in the midfield sometimes. We know he likes to go on the outside. I think he's going to have a job. And, Mickey's not the fastest player. Kevin Cabral, there's one thing he has, it's speed. So we got to watch out for that in and behind. Now, that's when Amito Garces, that's when his speed now comes in a bit, that comes into play, right? He's going to be the guy making that recovery challenge, making the recovery run. So that'll be interesting, man. But yeah, I don't know why it's Kevin Cabral written all over it.
Sidebar, we got to speak to Mickey today at training, and his English has gotten so much better from when he just got here to Los Angeles. Congratulations to him for putting in work on his English for sure. No, I mean, any one of those three guys can probably step up, but again, I'm gonna give it to Cole Bassett. If he plays well, it's going to be a rough. Yeah, I mean, if he plays well, it's going to be a tough match for the Galaxy. And if he doesn't play well, then, I mean, this might be a short series, which is just fine for the Galaxy, right? But, Ananda, we did ask chat already. For the Galaxy to win this match, they have to... What's your answer? A ver, dime. Decime.
They need to make a statement or make this a statement win. I think there's a lot of things kind of floating around right now with the Galaxy. There's, the loss that we just had last week. Will just talked about it, right? That sort of interesting conundrum working in sport where you're judged by the very last thing that you did, right?
Right.
And so I feel like coming into this, now it's interesting because a lot of the pundits, surprisingly, I thought, and I'm going to show the playoff or MLS Cup winner odds later, but surprisingly, a lot of the pundits out there have a lot of faith in this Galaxy team coming out of the West, even more so than LAFC, even more so than some of the other contenders, right? But I feel like based off of the loss last week, I think Greg's going to have a little chip on the shoulder too, getting snubbed, right? I feel like he's going to want to make a statement as well. So
I don't think so. I don't think he cares about individual honors.
I don't think so, but I feel like he's a competitive person. So whether he will admit it or not, he's competitive, right? He doesn't like to lose. I mean, he's not like maybe Anthony Davis levels. I don't know if you caught that recently, the AD defensive player of the year stuff, Robert. Kind of like that. Maybe it's not at that level, but I'm pretty sure he's competitive. And I feel like the Galaxy, to eliminate any sort of being in any sort of precarious situation, they want to close out this 1-2. They want to make a statement to the rest of Western Conference, to the league, that, hey, maybe those betting odds of us winning MLS Cup, maybe there's something to that. So I feel like they just need to make a statement. And that's how they're going to win this game. I think, maybe like the scoreline might not be emphatic. It won't be like a 4-0, 5-0 like we saw in other matches perhaps, but they are going to make this, they're going to want to try to make a statement at home.
Well, scoreline doesn't matter, and there's no aggregate or anything like that. But what does matter is a psychological statement, and like right. you're mentioning, like a statement, right? So if they go into this match, and this is mine, right, for the Galaxy to win this match, and I'm going to echo Coach Vanny here. They have to execute. They've already shown they can beat this Colorado team. They've done it twice this year. They've already shown they can beat any team in this league. Inter Miami, whoever it is, they've already shown they can beat them. They just need to go out there and play their game, take care of business, and execute. That's quite simply put. That's all it is. They can be anyone in this league. I was looking at a couple of early Will Kuntz interviews in prep for today, Ananda, and he said, we want to build a team that's competing for MLS Cup. Well, they are. I mean, they're in the conversation. Now the other thing is to go out and get it, right? So they've built a contender. They've built the pieces. The pieces are in place. The pieces have the game plan. They know the game plan. We've seen it execute. That's all it is.
Yeah. The one and only receiver says, just remember why they do what they do.
Yeah. And honestly, it's you.
I mean, and also remember or at home. I mean, you're indestructible. The Diggs is a fortress, right? So don't forget that. Ride on that emotion. I think you can ride on that wave. Now, of course, you got to temper that with, your discipline, etc. But I think this team is going to carry that energy in the right way.
Look, I've been telling my wife about what a Galaxy playoff match is like for the 7 years that we've been married. And I expect every single one of you out there to pop off and show up just so I can be proven right in my household, right? Just do that for me and I'll be happy. So anyway, I agree. Remember why they do what they do. It's all for y'all, right? And they like I said, they were at training today, loose, happy. They look like they're ready. And Mark spoke about it today. The reconnection with the fans has been massive. You are the 12th man, and really,
we'll talk about it too.
As long as the 12th man is there, there's really nothing that can stop this team. We've seen them; they're undefeated. Ananda, I know you and Dr. Reconnection have been in the lab for many hours, cooking up statistics and facts and figures. What do you and Doc Rack have on the betting odds?
I think GCam might have been in the lab with me too. He's been
what's up,
Dr. Reconnetion's lab assistant. But guys, here's the betting odds. Rob, I don't want to say that dreaded 2-letter word, but let me just present you the facts, the data. We are at a -200 for this game. That's a 67% chance, and the bookies are giving Colorado only a 17% chance. That is a plus 500. I really hate these odds for our part. Of course, if you are a betting man,
I'm not going to say that the phrase.
Of course, if you are a betting man, you would go with Colorado. But again, we are not your financial advisors, so take that as you may. But those are the odds. So,
I hate those odds. Like really, like again that phrase.
I don't want to say the word. I don't want to say the phrase. Yeah, exactly.
Me either. Okay. Well, we've already let you guys know. Drop those game predictions. I went first last time, Ananda, so that means
no, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Yeah,
no,
absolutely, I did. Chat,
dude,
come on. Chat, come on.
No. Well, we're both wrong. We're always both wrong because chat always gets the first. And Rosie has already put in her chat. Galaxy win 3-1. Their only goal will be from Kevin Cabral. Yeah, I agree. I'm pretty close to that, by the way. So guys, keep putting your predictions in there. And you know what? Since Rob will, I'm telling you, man, I'm literally going to clip this. And in our next preview pod, I'm going to show the video. And then I've got to have video evidence. There's got to be VAR on this thing. This is crazy. Let me give you my prediction.
You're bringing up the VAR? All right on.
Yeah, I'm bringing up VAR. Hit it up. I am gonna go actually with what Rosie is saying. I'm gonna go 3-1. I think they are gonna score, but I think at home we're just gonna be too much. Quality is gonna show up. Yeah, I think they're just gonna come into ready for this. I mean, I think they want to remember they haven't lost 2 games in a row all year, right?
Right.
So I think that's one thing. I think that's one record that whether Greg says it directly or indirectly, I think that's still gonna be in the back of their minds. Maybe Maya might bring it up in the locker room somehow. In the pregame talk, but I feel like they're going to be focused. I think they're ready, man. They're ready. That last game in Houston was tough. It was tough in the way they ended. But again, you always talk about on this pod, don't lose the lesson. Greg and Will just said it right now. Greg said that, the next time you guys do that, we're going to be bounce out of the playoffs, right? So right. I think that was a good lesson learned. And I think they're going to take that into the first game, first series for sure. So yeah, 3-1.
The Primo Matthew saying 3-0, clean sheet, baby. I'm calling a clean sheet as well, but I'm calling a 2-0. I think they're gonna. I think they're gonna go out there and because I saw these boys just look so loose today, right? Like just very happy, loose, focused. It's like one of those things where like like they're loose, but not like just like carefree. It's like loose because they know that they're locked in, right? They know that they got it right. So, saying all that, I think that they're gonna come out and put up what they need is a clean sheet to reestablish this defense, go into the rest of this playoffs with that sense of yes, we can pick up these clean sheets. So I'm calling it 2-0. And the friend of the show, Mike Gray, said, forgot to ask Will if he'd let us jam on the roof after the game on Saturday. Inside joke, but for all you guys in chat, us and friend of the show, Mike Gray, aka Miggy Grease, have been planning a jam session for a long time. It's been about 2 years and it just hasn't happened. So of course, if I give Will our sob story, of course he's going to let us jam on the roof of the digs. Why wouldn't he, right? Or
at least play in the after party at the Amex Lounge, right? Something like that. Maybe you can strike
exactly.
that deal.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. So we have Big Arc Arquitecto Verbal saying 2-1 Pequeño Belich. All Galaxy wins. But yeah, like I said, I'm calling a 2-0. Mike Gray says Will can join in. I don't know if Will can play anything, but Will can sing, and we know Will can sing in 2 languages, English and Spanish. So wow, that was an awesome factoid
that was
awesome.
That we
learned about.
That was really
learned
awesome,
about Will today. So anyway, guys, overwhelmingly, people are the people here in chat are calling a Galaxy win. Everything on paper is calling a Galaxy win. Galaxy's form against Colorado is calling that win as well. Now they just got to go out and execute. So coming up after game 1, y'all, the Galaxy go out on the road to Colorado for game 2. If you remember, the Galaxy just picked up their first win in Colorado here in many years this season. So Colorado is a difficult place to play, not only because of the altitude, but this is the playoffs, and they obviously win game 1. Colorado's going to be playing for their lives. So we're going to have that game 1 match reaction for you on Monday, October 28th. And just to let you guys know, it will also be a mini game 2 preview because our normally scheduled Thursday night show will not be happening because it is Halloween. And to be honest, no one wants to listen to us when you're supposed to be eating candy. So we're going to spare you our mugs on Thursday night. We're going to be out trick-or-treating as well. And yeah, we'll go ahead and catch you for the reaction pod for after game 2. Of course, game 3, if necessary, will be Saturday, November 9th at the Digs at 7 p.m. First kick is at 7:10. Game 2, Friday, November 1st at Colorado at 6:30. Winner of this series faces either Real Salt Lake or Minnesota United. And on one interesting thing that I noticed is that if the Galaxy do end up taking care of business on Saturday and then on Friday, November 1st at Colorado, they'll essentially be off for about 3 weeks because the conference semifinal dates are November 23rd and Sunday, November 24th. So if game 3 is not necessary, they'll have played their last match on November 1st at Colorado, and then they won't be playing until the 23rd or 24th. So always something to kind of keep in the back of your mind. Is that kind of long layoff good for them? Is it not good for them? In years past, we've seen that teams that have had those long layoffs haven't come back and done tremendously well. So it's kind of one of those things. It's like, do we need a game 3? Is it better?
No.
Are we better served for getting a game 3? No, obviously no. But yeah, I mean, 23 days is 22 days is a long layoff, right? It could be 23 days. But that's just something to look forward to. Of course, Galaxy need to take care of business and execute and get out of the rounds, which they can start to take care of on Saturday at the Digs at 8 p.m. You heard of Will, guys. You guys are going to be needed there. Show up, pop out, show out. Ananda, do you have anything else to add for the peoples before we get on out of here today?
Yeah, I always try to give the last word to chat, and I did star this one. Rocio always bringing in the good comments that I always like to sort of put at the end, and of course all you guys. But Rocio said, Colorado better be ready. We're going to bring at this game a full 90 minutes of Galaxy love and passion, and that's kind of what I want to leave, the tone of this conversation with, which is for all of you coming on Saturday, it's going to be festive. It's going to be fun, and we got to make that thing a fortress. We got to make it tough on Colorado, right? And if the team needs to pick me up, I have full confidence in you guys that everyone will pick that up. And Robert, you mentioned, I was just thinking about what you said to your wife, and I'm like, yeah, this is actually going to be. Now that I think about it, this is going to be, because I didn't go in 2022, so this is going to be my first playoff game in almost ever. No, in a long while. I mean, ever since even before, because remember, I was in the East Coast during those championship years. So yeah, man, this is going to be crazy. I'm excited to see what that playoff atmosphere is going to look like. And the other thing I want to leave everyone with too is, guys, let's not be like this. Let's just get this mentality. Let's get it out of the way. This is so funny. I just had to pull this up, man. This is I think this is a good lesson to, I think, all of us to, like you said, we've got to play what's in front of us, right?
Execute.
No gimmicks, no nothing. Just execute, heads down, do it on the pitch. And yeah, man, that's it.
It is the playoffs right now. Anything can happen. We just saw it happen. Starting with the home team playing at the away team side, and then the away team, the home/away team, goaling up the real home team right there. So it's the playoffs. Anything's going to happen. So the Galaxy just despite the key contributors for Colorado missing, despite them winning 2 games against this team already, they have to play what's in front of them and execute and just forget about everything else that's happened this year, including Decision Day, because it's a new dawn. It's the playoffs. Everything else that you've done so far is not going to mean anything if you come out and make that pivotal mistake that Greg Vanney is saying that you cannot make to get eliminated. But all that to say that we speak like this because we know this team has it in them. And I said it at the top of the show. This team has the players to do it. They know the game plan. They've done it. We've seen them do it and execute. We've seen it a bunch of times. We've said it a bunch of times today. Just execute. Ananda, you gave a last word to chat. You sure nothing else to add?
Yeah. Am I missing something?
Nah, I just wanted to say travel home safely. Ananda is racing against the clock, guys, to get home for that first playoff game on Saturday. So wish him well on his travels, and we wish you well. Thank you so much for being here with us once again. Rocio said that this game needs to be 90 minutes full of Galaxy love and passion. Every time we get together with you guys, it's full of love and passion, and we appreciate you guys for being with us every time that you are. We know you guys could be doing whatever in the world, playing video games, spending time with the family, but you guys are here listening to this pod with us, or even listening to it with your family, and we appreciate that. Will Kuntz today, aka for me now the Big Cat, is one of the things that we were super happy and proud to be able to bring you today, and it's because we love doing what we're doing for you guys, and you guys make it all possible for us to do it. I was just gonna say that, yeah, that was, just huge thanks to Will Kuntz. I think that was really just really good. And there's a lot of surprise. There are a lot of things that surprised me of some of the things he said, obviously, other than the fact that you guys, a lot of our audience is bilingual. And thank you, chat, just for hanging with us, and hope you enjoyed that. Guys, if you like the show, or if you love what you heard from Will, go ahead and subscribe and like and leave us comments, guys. We're always taking in feedback on what else you want to see, or just maybe just something that Will said that was insightful. Go ahead and put it in the comments. We've been responding to every single comment, so go ahead and do that, guys. And
yeah, we want to. Of course, this show isn't for us knuckleheads to just talk about Galaxy Soccer for about an hour. It's for you guys. So just let us know, give us some feedback, and yeah, we love having you guys joining us per the usual. And we will see you hopefully after the Galaxy win 10-0.
Ooh, is that a new prediction, 10-0?
Yeah.
That would be lovely. That would be quite the statement. You were talking about making a statement. That would be one of the biggest statement there. So guys, thank you once again. If you guys are here, it's because you found us on youtube.com/@LacunaGalaxiana, and we really appreciate you doing so. You can find us on the socials at Lacuna Galaxiana as well, and also mess with the back catalog. You guys can retroactively listen to this Will Kuntz episode. Also, we have our friend Sophie Nicolau. We have the one and only Tommy Boger, the Sash, in the back catalog. So go ahead and check that out. Subscribe, tell your auntie, tell your uncle, dile al elotero, dile a tu primo. Guys, you know where to find us. We love you. We'll catch you next time on the Reaction Pod. And like Ananda said, hopefully it's a statement 10-0 victory. Until we meet again, one thing left to say besides Viva Raquinho, and that is G.